Hey everybody, this is Jennifer. Welcome to my channel. I hope you're doing okay, and I hope you're having a decent Easter. I wanted to go over what I read in the past week and a half and tell you how my stuff's going. The first book I finished a few days ago, it was The Principles of Uncertainty by Myra Kalman. This is a graphic and text work. I thought it was very interesting, and I thought it was just pleasant, and it basically takes you to the author's outlook and her thoughts on things and on living in New York and just certain topics. I thought the artwork complemented the writing very well, and I really enjoyed this reading, and I gave it 4 stars. The next thing I read was my first book I picked for the TBR Clear Out TBR, and it was The Killer Inside Me by Jim Thompson. Yeah, so this, I can't tell you that I really liked this book. The subject matter is just too unpleasant. Let me tell you what it's about. So there is a deputy in the town of Central City, Texas. This is a very small southern town, and he has something very wrong with him. He has violent tendencies, and he keeps it locked up pretty good, and it comes out in ways where he's just I don't know, it kind of reminded me of, I don't know if anybody actually watches it, but the TV show What We Do in the Shadows, based on the movie, has a character in it called Colin Robinson, and he is a psychic vampire. So he goes up to people and he talks about the newest regulations or something, and he leaves feeling, and you feel drained, and he feels energized, because he was basically just eating your psychic energy. But so in the beginning he kind of reminds me of that character, and he ends up meeting up with this prostitute, Joyce Lakeland, and it sort of breaks something. It gives him an outlet for his sickness, he calls it, and it just sort of goes crazy. And there are several subplots, and you get some interesting things about the way small towns work, especially small towns in the South. And you dive a little into his psychology of why he's this way, but it doesn't, I don't think it delves deep enough. So I think that's one of the reasons also why it didn't sit really well with me, because it's more of an illustration of how he is rather than an exploration of why he's that way. I mean, it goes into it a little, but not very much. But anyway, yeah, 3 stars. It was it was well done. I just didn't like it very much. However, I will tell you that it was a very compelling read, and I thought the writing lent itself very well to its subject matter, and I didn't find it a difficult read. It just wasn't very pleasant. I'm not sure if I'm ever going to read a Jim Thompson novel again, but I'm not ruling it out, because I don't think he's a bad writer. It's just he doesn't write about subjects that I really love, but I thought he did a good job with this one. So I DNF'd We by Yevgeny Zamyatin. That was what I was reading for Claudia's End of the World Week readathon, but I got halfway through and up until the point where I DNF'd it, I was enjoying it. However, nearing the middle, it starts to lose steam, and it starts to get rather repetitive. So they live in this town. They live in this city. It's kind of like a city-state. It's called the United States. And I'd say it's more like a city-state than like a country or anything. But, and everybody's a number. They're not treated like people. They're numbers, and their lives are regimented, like, to the minute and the hour. Well, not the minute, probably. Their lives are regimented to the hour. And so this guy number, D503, he comes across this woman, and her identifier is I330. And I kind of thought that she was like a bit like a Manic Pixie Dream Girl. If you know what that is, she starts to shake up his worldview, and she gets in his head, and his life, he's not troubled by the world he lives in until she comes along. So that's why I said that. But starting when it gets around to the middle, it starts to drag and it starts to get repetitive. And I ended up, when I got to the 50% mark, I'm like, I do not care anymore, and I could not muster any more interest in the story, so I DNF'd it. So yeah, there's that. And let's see. Right now, I am in the middle of Mona Lisa Overdrive by William Gibson. I'd like to tell you what the plot is, but I don't know what the plot is, because right now, what we've got is several, like, arcs. You've got Angie Mitchell, who is a SenseNet star. And SenseNet, I feel like it's more of like a reality show type of a thing. And you've got some hackers, you've got some underworld mob types, and a 16-year-old prostitute named Mona. And they've all got things going on, and you know they're tied together, but you don't know how. And you don't know how it's all going to converge. And I'm finding it very interesting. I'm finding the writing to be, you know, competent and easy to read, and it serves a story. I don't know how I feel about it yet, but it was the third book in the Sprawl series by William Gibson, and I'm really glad to finally get that read, because I've read the other books multiple times and I never got around to this one. So yeah, so far so good. I am going to try to finish this today or tomorrow, and I will let you know eventually how it ends up for me. The next book I got, okay, so I picked my next book after I finished The Killer Inside Me, and my next book for the TBR Clear Out is going to be The Penelopiad by Margaret Atwood. Yeah, so it's a bit of a retelling of Penelope's side of the story in the Odyssey. And what Penelope does is, her husband Odysseus is presumed dead, and now she's got all these suitors who want to, you know, marry her and take over Ithaca, which I'm pretty sure Ithaca is where Odysseus ruled, and she does not want to marry any of them because they suck. And so she comes up with this thing where she's like, I can't marry anybody until I finish this tapestry. So she does the tapestry, and then at night she secretly undoes what she did during the day in order to avoid picking a suitor. So this is a retelling of that, and I'm really looking forward to it. It seems like it's going to be a fun, quick read, because I'd like to get more read, but I don't know, it's a bit slow going. I wish I hadn't put all that time into We that I ended up DNFing, but you can't do anything about that now. So yeah, I'm just going to keep going, and then in 2 weeks from yesterday, I'm going to be doing the Dewey's 24-hour readathon, so I will tell you what I'm going to be reading for that at some point later. I hope you guys are having a good Easter. I hope y'all are doing okay. Let me know what you're reading in the comments below, and thank you so much for watching my video. Bye.